lot of people will be heading to the ocean over the next few days to cool off and celebrate the 4th of July. But people should be vigilant, including on southern Maine beaches where a great white shark was spotted. Harpswell Marine Resources and Harbor Management says that the shark surfaced on Monday afternoon while fishermen were setting up gear a few hundred yards off Cedar Beach. A shark warning flag was raised to alert visitors to the possibility of sharks nearby. About 6 years ago, Maine's first and only deadly shark attack took place in that same exact area.
Well, there are new developments in the Lincoln Town budget issue. The Town Council voting Monday to suspend the recently approved budget after facing significant public backlash over funding cuts to emergency services and other departments. Our Grace Blanchard has the very latest.
Following pushback from residents, the Lincoln Town Council voted to suspend the latest budget, positioning them back to square one.
We needed to do this budget process in a better way.
Last week, the council approved a controversial budget that included significant funding cuts to public safety.
We don't want the people of Lincoln and the surrounding towns to suffer because we don't have the funding to support being able to help them as effectively as we know we can.
Lincoln resident and longtime nurse Erica Millett quickly took action and launched a petition to reverse the budget decision.
I felt incredibly concerned for Lincoln taxpayers, for their security and their safety.
Following the council's decision on Monday, Millett says the petition is now nullified, but she says it helped amplify community concerns.
We had a significant amount of signatures within just a few hours, so there is incredible community support for changes to this budget.
The budget cuts were an effort spearheaded by Council Vice Chair David Ireland to reduce taxpayer costs.
It's a good idea to find ways to cut the budget, but they went too far.
Budgets proposed by Ireland and Town Manager Wade Schaefer, who recently resigned, will now face public review again.
This turns things around and gives us a chance to really judge the budget in a fair way, to give the public a full voice in what we finally decide on the 22nd.
The town manager and Councillor Ireland had no comment. The council is scheduled to vote on the budget again on July 22nd, with public hearings being held on July 6th and July 15th. In Lincoln, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Meanwhile, a central Maine town has disbanded a committee that looked after mobile home park residents. The town of Oakland says that the committee was originally formed to help residents worried about rent increases and maintenance problems. Sam DeCoste reports it was dissolved after the town manager says the committee didn't accomplish what it was set out to do.
They're not bringing solutions, they're only bringing demands and complaints.
Tensions running high in Oakland, but the town manager says they're running too high. Kelly Penny Mishu moved back in May to end the town's mobile home park committee after it was formed a few months prior. The committee was meant to be a resource for residents dealing with rent hikes, poor road conditions, and maintenance concerns. Its last ever meeting escalated with residents yelling and screaming at committee members.
And I do realize that it is a public meeting, but there's too much outside influence, I think, happening. The committee itself is too big. There's, again, high emotions. I feel it's not productive use of my time.
I reached out to Penny Mishu. She said the committee has had some success, including paving a park road, resolving sewer issues, and getting one park its own dumpster. But that the town would be more productive, she says, if she helped owners and residents on a one-on-one basis. As it stands, the town passed a mobile home park rent increase moratorium that will expire August 1st. But by then, a new state law takes effect. It will prohibit lot owners from raising the rent more than once per year and requires a minimum of 90 days notice before rent hikes. But town councilor Kelly Roderick worries the residents are losing their voice with the town.
They're the most vulnerable population we have.
Roderick is concerned they could be left behind.
They're not like apartment renters where if the rent goes too high, you just look for a cheaper apartment. You pack up your stuff and you go. These folks own their homes. Many of them own those homes. So moving the home is not cost effective for them to do that. It's thousands of dollars.
Boy, that's a tough situation.
It sure is. Well, the time now is 6:19. After the break, major egg producers are accused of scheming together to drive up prices at the grocery store. We'll have more on that coming up.
Plus, after upgrades and renovations, the Clinton Fire Department finally unveiled their brand new fire station. We'll take a look as Good Morning Maine continues.
Maine's farms are being sold to China. Chinese criminal networks are infiltrating rural Maine. But Senator Susan Collins is fighting back. Susan Collins voted to stop China from buying up our farmland. And Collins is helping to crack down on Chinese organized crime. Collins delivered millions in more resources for local law enforcement, protecting our families, our farms, and bringing big money back home to Maine. Call and tell Senator Susan Collins to keep protecting rural Maine.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard Parks.
Happy Endings in downtown Bangor. This is where a delicious dinner meets a great drink. From the first bite to the last, Happy Endings serves the kind of meal you don't rush. And behind the bar, smooth, crisp drinks made just right. Perfect for date night, a night out, or your new favorite stop downtown. Happy Endings, 32 Main Street, Bangor. Open 7 days a week. Follow us on Facebook for specials and events.
A little over a year ago, Senator Susan Collins secured funding for the Clinton Fire Department that would go toward renovations and improvements.
The town of Clinton held a grand opening for its brand new fire station yesterday, and our Sam Miller was there.
Clinton's former fire department has stood for over 75 years, and on Tuesday, the town received a massive upgrade. The Clinton Fire Department held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the grand opening of their new station next to the town office. The new station includes 5 truck bays for emergency vehicles, as well as a kitchen area, conference room, and sleeping quarters for firefighters, nearly doubling the space of the previous location. The ceremony included comments from Senator Susan Collins, as well as local officials and emergency personnel.
So this is going to not only make response times quicker, but it also enhances the health and safety protections for our emergency personnel.
Last year, Collins secured $2 million in congressional district spending, which helped fund the project. Clinton Fire Chief Rick Barton says public reaction has been positive and believes the new station brings new and exciting change.
Is great. A lot of our Facebook posts and messages and stuff are in favor of the department, and they're happy for us.
Barton added that the new facility allows for personnel to perform at their best, which means everything when serving the community. In Clinton, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, it certainly looks like they have a lot more space now.
Yeah, great for that. I bet it feels great to be in there too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, now let's get a full look at our forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Rogan's Memorials. Give the gift of comfort through thoughtful planning with locations in Bangor, Bucksport, and Lincoln. Alrighty, here we go. Another look at the advisories, and there's a lot of them. Heat advisories right there where you see this orangey shade and this red shade, extreme heat watches, and then the pink shade right there, extreme heat warnings are posted, and air quality alerts hiding right there along the coast as well. So a lot of problems taking place too with the heat setting up across the region. Water temperatures maybe along the coast you're thinking about cooling off. Definitely be careful with that extreme difference there with water temperatures right now in the 60s and a little bit cooler further off towards the north and east. Meanwhile, here's what we got. We do have clouds moving in from the northwest to the south and east. There is a small chance of rain early this this morning. We're going to lose that as we'll be under a partly cloudy sky coming up throughout the daytime period today. You can see the activity right there. We will have a boundary passing through late tonight and the parts of tomorrow that will be bringing in opportunities for some more showers and thunderstorms. So there is a rain chance early this morning. We lose that very quickly with a partly cloudy sky later on tonight, and I mean late tonight. There's that opportunity for some more showers and thunderstorms, and that continues on and off throughout Thursday. And then once we head towards Thursday night, notice some more waves of showers and thunderstorms will be on the way. So of course the humidity, that's a big story. Look at the dew points. They will be in the lower, possibly middle 70s coming up. Some improvement late Friday and a little bit better as we head towards the weekend. So we need to give it a little bit, but it will start to feel better soon. So for today, here we go. Upper 80s. Any morning rain will be ending. We'll be under a partly cloudy sky later on with that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, low 70s. An isolated thunderstorm late. There's that cluster to the north that will be moving in. Otherwise, partly cloudy areas of dense fog with a light and variable wind. For tomorrow, scattered showers and some thunderstorms. Look at that, a hot one. Highs in the mid 90s and that west wind at around 20 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Friday. Mostly sunny with highs again reaching for the mid 90s. For the 4th of July, more showers and thunderstorms with highs cooling into the mid 80s. And then Sunday, here we are, a partly cloudy sky, highs in the mid 80s.
On Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro, 12 of the best dancers join me for the audition of a lifetime.
I'm here to win.
Woo! This is what hunger looks like.
Nothing is going to stop me.
Now watch me move.
30 years living the Washington, D.C. lifestyle changes people. Getting rich from insider trading should be illegal. But Susan Collins doesn't think so. Susan Collins is trying to keep it so senators can get rich playing the stock market. They're making millions of dollars, while we can't even afford groceries and gas. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop the congressional stock trading.
Keep your vehicle running smooth this summer with help from Frost Garage.
It's really hot in my car all the time.
We'll get you AC service, no problem.
Really pulls to one side and shakes a lot.
Sounds like you need some front-end work, not a problem.
It really used to fly. Now it barely just chugs along.
Could just need a tune-up. We'll take a look.
No matter the issue, Frost Garage will keep your vehicle safe all year long.
I'd say it flies now.
Davis Brothers Furniture is expanding. At Davis Brothers, we've always strived to stand out from the rest, and we are now proud to offer flooring for your home, featuring both carpeting and luxury vinyl flooring. We even have an installer in-house with over 30 years of experience. Come see the reason people have been traveling from all over the state and beyond to Davis Brothers Furniture in Guilford for decades. Davis Brothers Furniture, deliberately different, delivering statewide.
Next Jeopardy!
We witnessed the defeat of a super champion.
Now, what's Richard's mantra as he tries to shake off the competition?
Just go with the flow.
Next Jeopardy!
Only on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
President Trump has released more than 900 pages of financial disclosures. They provide new insight into how much money he's made since taking office. ABC's Karen Waugh has the details.
Good morning. Those financial disclosures reveal President Trump made more than $2.2 billion in his first year back in office. The biggest driver was cryptocurrency, digital money that exists online. Just days before he took office for his second term, Trump launched his own cryptocurrency. Investors poured millions into the president's meme coin, a type of digital currency inspired by internet memes or viral trends. Trump's disclosure shows he made $635 million through a licensing agreement for the sale of the coin. Another $524 million came from crypto sales through a financial firm that his sons help run. The coin has been controversial. Many investors lost money after the coin's value crashed in the months after launch. Its price spiked again when Trump offered his top buyers a dinner with him at his golf club. The White House denies any conflict of interest, a spokesperson saying neither the president nor his family has ever engaged or will ever engage in conflicts of interest. And a representative for Trump's business firm saying the disclosure form's length underscores our commitment to transparency. The disclosures also reveal the president made nearly $5 million licensing Trump-branded watches and more than $200,000 from a Trump-branded Bible. Forbes estimates Trump's net worth at $6 billion, up from about $2 billion before he took office for his second term. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Well, now to the prices of eggs, and some companies agreeing to shell out millions in the wake of historic price increases. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
This morning, the Justice Department and more than a dozen states have reached a proposed settlement with 3 major egg producers accused of scheming together to drive up prices. The states.
This morning,
the Justice Department and more than a dozen states have reached a proposed settlement with 3 major egg producers accused of scheming together to drive up prices. The states and federal government claim Calmine Foods, Versova, and Hickman's Egg Ranch secretly communicated to increase what consumers paid for eggs between June 2022 and March 2025. Average prices soared to a record high of more than $6 per dozen early last year, with some shoppers paying even more.
I was literally shocked to see the dozen of eggs at $9.26.
The companies have not admitted any wrongdoing under the settlement, instead blaming the high prices on the pandemic and the bird flu outbreak. As part of the agreement, they'll pay the states a total of $3.3 million and donate 53 million eggs to food banks and community organizations. Some agriculture advocacy groups say that doesn't go far enough, saying consumers paid record prices while dominant egg producers reported extraordinary profits. Yet the result is another settlement that corporations can treat as the cost of doing business rather than meaningful accountability.
The settlement still needs court approval. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Well, more than half the country is now under extreme heat alerts, the worst heat in more than a decade in some places, just as people head outdoors for the holiday festivities, which are now being scaled back or rescheduled in many areas. Also a concern, the power grid, as people crank up their ACs. Lionel Moyes has more on the extreme heat.
This morning, an emergency order issued for the nation's largest power grid as dangerous heat grips the Midwest and South and moves into the Northeast. The order allows PJM, which services 13 states and Washington, D.C., to operate at maximum output without environmental concerns as electricity demand skyrockets in the heat. Thousands of power outages already reported in Ohio.
Ice cold water.
From Nashville to New England, authorities bracing for the worst, with feel-like temperatures topping 100 degrees, some of the most severe conditions in more than a decade. Cooling vans with paramedics now being deployed across New York City. A health emergency declared in Philadelphia, officials there shortening the 4th of July parade, other cities canceling events altogether. In Dearborn, Michigan, a dramatic moment after a mother accidentally locked her baby in the car. Officers getting that baby just in time.
Babies just can't tolerate that level of heat for very long. We're talking minutes.
In the West, more than 50 wildfires are burning across 8 states. This security camera video shows one of the multiple wildfires in Colorado destroying a family's home and camper. Fire crews now paying tribute to these 3 firefighters killed battling a massive fire on the Colorado-Utah border. Thousands of people forced to flee, and with scattered storms expected in the Midwest and South today, dramatic video of a Georgia woman struck by lightning.
The lightning hit the tree, split it in half, hit my car, and then hit me. And I went into cardiac arrest.
She was not breathing and had no pulse. Now she's been reunited with the first responders who saved her life, giving a hug to each of them. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Boy.
Yeah, well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll learn all about the Sweet Dreams Project, which preps for Christmas all year long.
That and more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Hi, Todd from Dorsey Furniture here, and our red tag furniture and mattress clearance sales going on now. We have a special purchase of overstocked flex steel sofas, love seats, chairs, and recliners at least half off list. Famous Maker, queen size, showroom sample mattresses half off list. The largest selection of recliners and lift chairs in the Bangor area, with lift chairs starting at $7.99. Extreme values like this won't last long, so come check us out today. And thank you for supporting a Maine family-owned company. Be comfortable, my friends.
Coast to countryside.
All across America.
Good morning.
Hello.
Wherever we are,
welcome.
It feels like home.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Man, it's good to be home.
GMA, it's an invitation to come together.
Hey, George, how are you?
Good morning.
And brighten your morning.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. It is also International Joke Day.
Where did June go, first of all?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's already July.
Yeah, it's flying by.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, this holiday invites everyone to share a good laugh and appreciate the power of humor. The oldest known joke is an ancient Sumerian proverb that featured bathroom humor.
Of course it did.
Of course. This is a day to share our favorite jokes because science has shown laughter really is good medicine, and it can boost your immune system and relieve stress and can even improve our heart health.
Just do it at the appropriate times.
Yeah.
I tend to joke all the time.
You do. You struggle with that a little bit,
and I don't
Craig.
always do it at the right times, but
it's okay.
But I like to make people laugh.
You're
so,
still hilarious.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm terrible at jokes too. But all right, let's get to history. It was on this day in history back in 1863. The Civil War Battle of Gettysburg came to an end in Pennsylvania after 3 days of bloody fighting. In 1867, Canada became a self-governing dominion of Great Britain as the British North America Act took effect. This national holiday was known as Dominion Day until 1982, when it became known as Canada Day. And just like we do with the 4th of July, our Canadian neighbors will celebrate with parades, fireworks, and singing their national anthem. Happy Canada Day to all of our Canadian friends. And in 1903 on this date, the first Tour de France bicycle race began. Oh, I've got one more too.
You do.
1904, the first Olympic Games to be held in the U.S. opened up in St. Louis. They were also the first Olympics to award gold, silver, and bronze medals. I'm not sure what they did before that.
Yeah, I was wondering that as I was reading it.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. In 1963, the U.S. Postal Service inaugurated the 5-digit zip code. In 1979, the first Sony Walkman went on sale, sparking a revolution in portable electronics.
That was great, too. You could carry your music anywhere you went with that. So.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
In 1984, the first movie rated PG-13 made its debut, featuring Patrick Swayze in the film Red Dawn. And in 1991, President George H.W. Bush nominated Judge Clarence Thomas to serve on the Supreme Court. He faced a contentious nomination process that was marked by allegations of sexual harassment.
He has been a bit controversial over the years.
Yep.
All right, for birthdays today, they include actress Pamela Anderson, who is 59 today. Actress Liv Tyler, she's 49. Did you know she grew up in Portland?
She did?
She did.
Oh,
she lived in Portland.
I didn't know that.
And actor Dan Aykroyd, he is 74. I think he had a place down to Deer Isle.
Oh, wow.
So another Maine connection there.
Interesting.
So, happy birthday to them and to you also, if your birthday is today.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Rogan's Memorials. Give the gift of comfort through thoughtful planning with locations in Bangor, Bucksport, and Lincoln. Alrighty, here we go. Lots of advisories posted as anticipated ahead of the heat. We have heat advisories in this little orangey color. We have extreme heat watches and extreme heat warnings with the heat that's going to be moving in with high temperatures and high heat indices with the high dew points that will be moving in, and also some air quality alerts that will be expected as well pushing forward today. So a lot going on with everything that's going to be pushing in. Meanwhile, that warm front's tracking off towards the north, so of course we have the clouds currently setting up. We do have a little bit of rain trying to sneak in this morning that will be backing off, so today we will be dry under a partly cloudy sky. Notice the rain farther down toward the south. There will be a slight chance for rain late tonight with more opportunities as we head towards tomorrow. So futurecast for today, you can see the rain early this morning. That gets out of here very quickly with a partly cloudy sky. Watching for some more storms early Thursday morning and continuing on and off throughout the day on Thursday. So your hourly forecast moving forward, here we are with decreasing clouds throughout the daytime period today with temperatures warming into the 80s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports.
Don't go away.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
We invited passionate soccer fans to push Nissan vehicles to the limit, just like they do with their teams. Further proof that the Nissan lineup is tested and trusted by the toughest. Hurry in to bring home a winning offer at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Get 0% APR on select model trims for well-qualified buyers, or get up to $5,750 total savings on select Frontier trims.
We love it here. Here is the smell of fresh bread, good food at the table, a familiar face behind the counter, where we pick up right where we left off. Right here is where all the good happens, because here is home.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. The Boston Red Sox are red hot right now, and after their win over Washington on Monday, they are winners of 5 straight. After sweeping the Yankees this past weekend, the Sox were right back at it on Monday evening with a matchup with the Washington Nationals, and they picked up right where they left off, scoring 4 runs in the opening inning to take a 4-1 lead. 2 more runs in the second and third inning were enough to get the Sox the W as they come away with a 6-3 victory and win their 5th straight.
To come out the way we did offensively the first 3 or 4 innings was nice to see. We jumped on some pitches, hit some balls really hard, got ourselves a lead. Again, we've talked a lot about, like, let's get runs early and play with the lead and let our pitchers navigate through that. So, you know, to continue to carry that from the momentum that we just had is a really good sign.
Now, Monday's win was an emotional one for Wilson Contreras, the Venezuelan native whose home country fell victim to two massive earthquakes last week. In the first inning, with two runners on base, he hit a ball over the green monster and out of the park for a 3-run homer to take the lead, and it was an emotional moment for the veteran.
The homer just represents something that I pray to God for it to happen, because as I said, that's the only thing that I can do for Venezuela right now, physically. And that's when my emotions exploded. It was nothing against the Nationals. I hit a homer. Of course, I tried to help my dugout, but the first thing that I said was Venezuela.
We've got some huge news out of the NBA as LeBron James has announced that he will not return to the Lakers this season and will become a free agent. LeBron is one of the most recognizable faces in sports, and after 8 seasons with the Lakers, he will once again hit the free agency block. It was reported on Tuesday afternoon that LeBron told the Lakers to, quote, move on without him because he wanted to hit the open market. As he has with each of his destinations thus far, James brought success to Los Angeles, winning the 2020 NBA Finals and becoming the league's all-time point scorer. With such a big superstar hitting the free agency market, there are already rumors as to where he will end up, with the most popular theory being that LeBron will make the move up to San Francisco to play with the Warriors. Others say he might reunite with the Miami Heat, but again, those are all just rumors. Alrighty, it's time to take a look at Tuesday's World Cup scores. It was Norway getting the 2-1 victory over Ivory Coast. Sweden falls 3-0 to France. Congo DR will be played on Wednesday at noon. Senegal and Belgium will play at 4 p.m. And Bosnia in the United States kicks off at 8 p.m. And now a look at what the round of 16 looks like thus far. Paraguay and France is set up to kick off on July 4th in Philadelphia. Canada and Morocco will face off on the same day in Houston. Brazil and Norway in New York. And the rest of these games are still up for grabs depending on who wins. Well, folks, before we close out, we have to take a moment to give our Jack Webb his flowers. As many of you may know, the National Sports Media Association named Jack the Sportscaster of the Year in the state of Maine this year. And this week, he took the trip down to North Carolina to accept his award. He joined many prominent sportscasters at the banquet, and when it was time to get his award, Jack was handed his plaque by legendary multi-sport announcer Sean McDonough. Big congrats to you, Jack. You deserve that. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Kirk Fisher is a motorcycle attorney with first responder experience. He protects fellow riders and those in danger, fighting fires and fighting for your rights. Experienced, determined, and dedicated. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. Look for motorcycles, or Kurt Fisher will be looking for you.
Imagine stepping onto your brand new deck, enjoying all the benefits of your expanded outdoor living space. Hammond Lumber Company can help turn that vision into reality. Visit any of Hammond's expansive showrooms and explore a world of possibilities. The timeless beauty of wood, the resilience of composite or affordable durable PVC. Railing options from traditional wood to sleek aluminum and contemporary cable railing. On-site consultation and delivery are available. Get started on your new deck when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Christmas is months away, but the organizers of the Sweet Dreams Project in Skowhegan plan for the holiday all year long. The project supplies Christmas gifts for children in the area that are in need. Our Jody Hersey stopped by to see their progress.
This is our game section. We love to give games so that kids can do things with their families.
Deb Tanner, a school teacher in Skowhegan, started the Sweet Dreams Project back in 2016 after seeing firsthand the need of those living in Somerset County.
We were starting with nothing. This is grassroots, zero money. Started out with just giving PJs and a book. That was what they got. And the first year we did 114 bags.
Since that first year, the Sweet Dreams Project has provided a gift bag with something special for hundreds of children to open on Christmas morning.
Somebody made this beautiful sweater, so we're going to give this as an outfit for a child.
The need has grown each year, and so has the generosity of the church and the community. So much so that the supplies for those holiday bags are collected, organized, and stored in a room inside the Skowhegan Federated Church.
It's unbelievable, the community support.
Tanner said she and other volunteers filled 875 bags in 2025, and she thinks they'll exceed that number this season.
There'll be more families that need help with what's going on with the price of gas, the price of food, the price of oil.
Tanner says this year she could really use large Christmas bags and tissue paper for the Sweet Dreams Project.
I don't say no to anybody in need, and my heart really feels so good when we can make children happy on Christmas morning.
In Skowhegan, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
To donate or to learn more about the Sweet Dreams Project, you can reach out to Deb Doloff Tanner on Facebook. Now, Craig will be back momentarily, but in the meantime, here's meteorologist Devin Biggs with our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Rogan's Memorials. Give the gift of comfort through thoughtful planning with locations in Bangor, Bucksport, and Lincoln. Alrighty, here we go. Another look at the advisories, and there's a lot of them. Heat advisories right there where you see this orangey shade and this red shade, extreme heat watches, and then the pink shade right there, extreme heat warnings are posted, and air quality alerts hiding right there along the coast as well. So a lot of problems taking place too with the heat setting up across the region. Water temperatures maybe along the coast you're thinking about cooling off. Definitely be careful with that extreme difference there with water temperatures right now in the 60s and a little bit cooler further off towards the north and east. Meanwhile, here's what we got. We do have clouds moving in from the northwest to the south and east. There is a small chance of rain early this morning. We're going to lose that as we'll be under a partly cloudy sky coming up throughout the daytime period today. You can see the activity right there. We will have a boundary passing through late tonight and the parts of tomorrow that will be bringing in opportunities for some more showers and thunderstorms. So there is a rain chance early this morning. We lose that very quickly with a partly cloudy sky later on tonight, and I mean late tonight. There's that opportunity for some more showers and thunderstorms, and that continues on and off throughout Thursday. And then once we head towards Thursday night, notice some more waves of showers and thunderstorms will be on the way. So of course the humidity, that's a big story. Look at the dew points. They will be in the lower, possibly middle 70s coming up. Some improvement late Friday and a little bit better as we head towards the weekend. So we need to give it a little bit, but it will start to feel better soon. So for today, here we go. Upper 80s. Any morning rain will be ending. We'll be under a partly cloudy sky later on with that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, low 70s. An isolated thunderstorm late. There's that cluster to the north that will be moving in. Otherwise, partly cloudy areas of dense fog with a light and variable wind. For tomorrow, scattered showers and some thunderstorms. Look at that, a hot one. Highs in the mid 90s and that west wind at around 20 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Friday. Mostly sunny with highs again reaching for the mid 90s. For the 4th of July, more showers and thunderstorms with highs cooling into the mid 80s. And then Sunday, here we are, a partly cloudy sky, highs in the mid 80s.
Being raped is one of the worst fears that women have. So we take precautions to avoid dangerous situations. Graham Plattner blamed women for getting raped because he said we get effed up drunk. Mr. Plattner, blame the rapists, not the women. And now we learn Plattner used an app that's called a predator's paradise for child exploitation. Graham Plattner is disgusting, gross, and unfit for the Senate. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Looking for great food and hometown flavor? Riverside Grill is your favorite spot for juicy burgers, choices on seafood, and more. Fresh food served with a smile every day.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
Stunning glaciers, dazzling fjords, majestic bald eagles, and polar bears, emerald cliffs, live volcanoes, white, black, and green sand beaches. This week, it's time to escape to Alaska and Hawaii on GMA.
Hosted by Leah Remini.
4 of them make $1.
Hoarders.
What is swing? Did you just say what is?
Yes.
You just realized you're not on Jeopardy. Okay.
People Puzzler
on ABC7.
Hancock County's latest law enforcement officer just completed training. This is Deputy K-9 Luca with K-9 Deputy Jordan Knapp. Take a look at this. K-9 Luca is just a year old. After months of training, Deputy Knapp and K-9 Luca are now a certified K-9 team in article searches and evidence recovery, building searches, tracking of missing persons, and also criminal suspects, along with criminal apprehension. They will be going for drug search certification in the next few months.
Aww.
So they know what they're doing.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, Italy's Mount Etna continues to erupt. A spectacular lava flow that began from an eruption on Friday has descended to 2,700 meters. Mount Etna is Europe's largest active volcano. Excursions are also very popular on Mount Etna, which is about 11,000 feet high. Look at that lava flow.
Yeah, how about that?
Very cool.
And animals at a Central Florida zoo are beating the heat this week and keeping healthy during the heat wave there. Zoo officials provide ice baths, fans, and cooling stations for their animals. 2/3 of the U.S. can, as we heard, expect a heat wave through the holiday weekend. And yes, animals need to cool off
They
too.
sure do. That's a good reminder. I mean, I know this is a bear, but
Right.
with your own pets, your
Right.
dog and whatnot, it's good to keep them in mind as well over this hot weather.
Yeah, all your kitties and all your other
Yeah.
animals out there, they all need water and some shade
They sure
too.
do. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22.
Thanks for being there, everyone. We hope you have a great day.
He jumped on the ladder and climbed up about 3 steps and just hung there. The crew chief went down the ladder, grabbed him by the rucksack and held him until we got off to a LZ where we could drop him off. Amazing courage.
We learned then what the war is all about. Can you help us over here? We have some severely wounded just coming in. I guess that was a part we knew we was at war because they were terribly wounded.
I got where I wouldn't even run to the bunker. Wasn't any sense in doing anything. If you were working and you had a patient on the table, you pulled the patient off the table, put him on the floor, and put yourself on top of the patient.
Everything went crazy. The engines were screaming, and stuff was flying around in the cabin, and it was really something. Then we hit the ground. The tires were screeching. You could feel the plane doing one of those, you know, and it finally came to a stop. Come to find out, they missed the airport.
Went down once, one turned too quick, and we took 650 caliber rounds through the bottom of the aircraft. Inside the aircraft is covered with blood. Instruments were all going red lights.
As far as I'm concerned, I think it's the most important thing I've ever done in my life.
2/3 of the way down the ladders, the blast went off, and he was killed outright.
When you first get there, you kind of resign yourself that you might not go home.
I think I saw courage every single day, and everything blew my mind. I saw it every single day, what men and women did over there. People have no clue, absolutely have no clue of what folks did and the sacrifices they made.
As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, we celebrate freedom and honor the men and women who have served to protect it. Our heroes, their own words. Friday, July 3rd at 7 p.m. on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Good morning, America. The dangerous heat dome. President Trump cashes in, and Madison Square Garden getting ready for Taylor and Travis.
FoxBangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, the Supreme Court ruling on two major decisions yesterday. We'll have the very latest and hear from Maine's Attorney General.
Also, hazardous heat is supposed to start today. We'll hear from MEMA and Central Maine Power about how to stay safe.
And the holiday weekend is quickly approaching. We'll have tips from AAA on how to prepare before hitting the road. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll have all the day's news coming up. I think the big story, though, is going to be the heat. Everybody will be talking about it.
Yes.
Expected to get up into the 80s today, up into the upper 90s tomorrow.
Yeah.
But with the humidity and everything, it's in some places I was reading, like down in southern Maine, it's going to